Hello ladies and gentlemen, Safehouse here. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the Dragoon level 50 rotation and macros. I don't do it to the optimum, but this is the way I do it. I will mention the perfect way to do it if you want to get your maximum damage out, but this is the easiest way I find. So firstly, we're going to start with the macros. To make a macro, you want to hit escape and go into user macros. Here you can click on any one of these numbers and start making a macro. For starters, on true thrust I have obviously true thrust and internal release, which is this ability down here that I have stolen from the pugilist. Increase critical hit rate by 20% for 15 seconds. This just means once I use true thrust, that internal release will also cast while the global cooldown is going. This is also why I have Featherfoot and Keen Flurry, both abilities that don't go on the global cooldown. I have only put internal release onto the true thrust. I have put the other two onto Vorpal Thrust, just because mainly when you get that first ability it goes off pretty quick, you don't have to worry about the global cooldown, and when you go for your second one you're kind of spamming it a little bit more, so you do get all those off. It's just a nice way. You can try and manage those if you want, but it's just a good way. As soon as they're off cooldown pretty much you're throwing them back down, which is always nice. So that's how to get those three in without ever having to press them. I like to keep them on the side here so I can see when they're on and off cooldown, just in case I do really need them for any reason. The only other macro I am using at the moment is Spine Shatter Dive, and I am putting Power Surge with it. I have it on mouse button 5 over here, so that's the macro, and this is so I can see the cooldowns. I have it so that Power Surge casts first to increase my Spine Shatter Dive by 50%. You can see here, if you can't quite see these macros that I've written up here, I'll put them in the descriptions so they're much easier to see. You guys can add them in yourself and test them out to see whether you like them. So that's it for the macros that I use. I'm sure there's more out there, but all the rest of my abilities I like to manage separately, so I'm not sure if you guys can think of any more. If you know any more really good ones, be sure to throw them down. Also, just a quick tip that if you have the macro, as you can see I've got them over here, if you have them actually in the slot, you can't see them go on global cooldown, and if you've got a proc like True Thrust procs, Vorpal Thrust procs, Full Thrust, well it doesn't proc them but increases their potency, it doesn't show, so you can't see the global cooldown and you can't see whether it's procced or not for that extra damage. So I have them over here, and as you can see I've keybound them to 1 and 2, and these two abilities actually aren't keybound to anything, but I can see when they're on global cooldown and I can see when they're proccing this way. So pretty much you're casting these but you're looking over here. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the rotation that I use. I'll talk about what I do first and then I'll tell you what the optimum rotation is after. So firstly, I generally use a gap closer like Spine Shatter Dive, or if there's a few adds around or there's multiple mobs, use Dragonfire Dive. After that, use Heavy Thrust from the flank. Keep that up all the time. You got 20 seconds. In that 20 seconds you can use a True Thrust, Vorpal Thrust, Full Thrust combo. Remember to use Life Surge with Full Thrust. Also, in between you can use Leg Sweep whenever you want, unless you're saving it for an interrupt, which sometimes you do, but otherwise it's just a free lot of damage there. I'm just going to start calling the True Thrust, Vorpal Thrust, Full Thrust combo a TVF combo. Let's make it a bit quicker. So within your 20 seconds you've got enough time for 2 TVF combos. At the end of the first one I would recommend throwing in a Phlebotomize, because it pretty much makes it perfect timing to get through one rotation of TVF, get your Phlebotomize down, another rotation of TVF, and you can go back to Heavy Thrust, and it's perfectly right on the 20 seconds, and you restart again. Use Blood for Blood pretty much off cooldown unless you're taking damage. It's the only reason I don't have it over here for a self cast, is just because some stages of the fight you don't want it up. Also, Blood for Blood, really good if you're taking any damage. Amazing ability, make sure you've got it on your bars. Also, your Piercing Talon, it's just good for when you've got to stay away from the boss, he's just doing AoEs or whatever, or, you know, it's just good to have around. I've just got it on X, so I don't use it too often. Also, you have Invigorate up. Every now and then you're going to run out of TP. I don't find it too much of an issue unless it's a really long fight, so have that on your bars somewhere ready to go. Also, Ring of Thorns, when you've got a lot of adds around you, it's really good to combo with your Heavy Thrust, Ring of Thorns. It's a good AoE. And have Elusive Jump ready to go, a great ability for escaping situations you wouldn't usually escape. I also use Second Wind, another ability that I have borrowed from the pugilist. So I'd recommend having that one on your bars as well. Obviously health pot. Jump I don't use so much just because of the restrictions on the animation. It's obviously you don't need the global cooldown for it, but because the animation is so long, it just makes it not worth it for me to really ever use it. So I've got it down there, but I very rarely use it. So that's pretty much it for my combo, but I know other people are going to be wanting to know about the perfect combo. Now the perfect combo does involve the Impulse Drive, Disembowel and Chaos Thrust combo. It combos into a potency. It's very nice, especially with the debuff from the Disembowel and the dot from Chaos Thrust. Also works well with Phlebotomize. Pretty much you want to be using that with Heavy Thrust and keeping those dots up. If those dots are ticking, then you can do a TVF combo, but you want to keep those dots up all the time, and that's how you get your max DPS out of the class. Also, there's another ability I don't have yet that you get from the Marauder Call, Mercy Stroke, that you are definitely going to want to get. It is a great ability. You don't get it until level 26, I believe. Could be wrong, but it's about that. So you have to level your Marauder a little bit higher than 15, but it is worth it. It is a great ability. I obviously don't have it yet, but I will have it soon. I am definitely working on that. I don't personally use the Chaos Thrust combo just because with Life Surge, the TVF combo actually does have a greater potency, and with the current bosses that I'm getting at the moment, there's not really many chances you get to stand still and actually do the DPS from behind. Also, I'm speculating that with PvP, everyone's going to be moving around a lot, and you're not going to really get in position to be able to use the Chaos Thrust combo either, so I stick with the TVF combo. I like it more. It's a lot more versatile. Also, just a quick one with the macros. If you don't want to put all those abilities like I have onto your True Thrust and Vorpal Thrust and Full Thrust, you can put them on other abilities you use often. Just copy the macros. You can put it on whatever you want, because it can take a bit of getting used to, because sometimes when you go to use an ability, it doesn't quite come off straight away if there's in the animation of casting one of the other ones. So, you know, just set it up however you want it, guys, but that's how I do it, and I hope this helped you out, and good luck getting your macros and your level 50 Dragoon set up how you would like. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. Just post them in the comments section and I will try and get an answer for you. Cheers, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and if this video helped you out or you just enjoyed it, please smack that like button, or you can also subscribe to my channel for more videos similar to this one. Thanks, guys.